Anyway, we had mentioned, or actually, Danny, I know we are we're kind of in an awkward spot here with your timing, so I don't want to just jump right into our next segment here.
Sure,
so in between segments, because we'll talk about Zohran a little, but anything that you want to say about Zohran before we really get in, me and TJ will get into the bulk of that conversation.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about a brand. We talked about the identity of the Democratic Party. We talked about content creation. We talked about social media and how you present yourself on the internet. And I think that is an example of the type of masculinity that, if presented on the internet, and because this is paired with policies that are much to the left, what a lot of people would be comfortable with or even familiar with, that not only won, it dominated. It won in resounding, crushing fashion that clearly
sound like Donald Trump.
scared the shit out of Donald Trump. Well, I mean, honestly, like the margin of victory was colossal. And like, as a sports guy, I'm like, holy shit, if you beat somebody by 30, you blew them out. And like, I thought he would win around Monday or Tuesday of this week. At no point did I think it would be, or around Thursday or Friday of last week. At no point did I think it would be to the degree that it was. And I think that he ran a masterful campaign. He put himself out there. He looked cool, fun, relatable, exciting, not corny. And like Trump could never, you know, the ability to go right to camera, straight to people is so appealing. And I don't know, I thought that was exactly the kind of brand I would like to see more of.
Do you feel like, so you're saying this, I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying, Danny. But until you said that, I had not considered masculinity as an appeal of Zohran myself. Not to say that he's not to say any of that, but it's just like on the laundry list of reasons why I like Zohran, I never even considered that aspect of it. But there is a certain thing there. Like, he doesn't put masculinity front and forward, but he does do a lot of the things that me and TJ talk about a lot on the show that the left can reclaim with masculinity, like a genuine caring for other people and wanting to help the weak, to be strong for the people who need it. Like that genuine care is something that I feel like gets feminized a lot. It's like caring about people is for women, but it really is like being a provider is caring for people. You have to care about people in order to provide for them. And I think everyone would agree that being a provider is masculine. I guess my question to you is like, just because I didn't see it as much, and I don't disagree with anything you're saying, what stood out to you as like, this guy, this could be a face of masculinity that we can fuck with?
Yeah, well, I think one of the elements of masculinity that is really important is confidence. What that looks like is different for everybody, but the ability to go into spaces and talk about your beliefs and talk about your values. And Zohran went out of his way to go on a lot of podcasts, which I know is like the right-wing ticket to 2024 election, the podcast election, they call it. But like, I listened to him on The Bulwark, and Tim Miller is no easy interview. If he thinks you're a crazy socialist who's not going to win, he's going to grill you. And I thought they had a great talk. And I was like, you know what? This dude's confident. He's calm. He's able to talk to somebody who's ostensibly a pretty center right person fiscally about what he would like to do in New York City on a podcast, like a week out from the election, tons of pressure. And he seemed cool and composed. And I think that something that I look at as being masculine or just competitive is like, hey, if we might have a disagreement, or if you want to hear what I have to say, I'm going to answer the call. I'm going to go do it. I'm going to speak up for what I believe in. I'm going to stand across from you and debate. And I think Trump not debating in the 2024 Republican primary was weak and pathetic. And none of his opponents saying it's pathetic and weak for him to stay at home because he knows he's going to win. That was a huge, like, I think you need to call people to the battlefield of ideas. And I thought when I watched him go willingly, I thought taking huge swings at Andrew Cuomo on the debate, calling him a predator, calling him saying, I want you to say my name because I'm going to beat you. That is masculine, bro. I was like, holy shit. Make that a Sigma edit. Like, I want to go work out now. I literally watched that before I hit chest today. That was a very strong display of like bravery and masculinity, and you're a sex pest and I'm going to fucking call you on it. You're a sicko. And I'm going to do it in the biggest moment of my life with everything on the line. And if I fuck this up, I'm going to lose. And I thought that was very brave. I don't know. And to me, it does help that he is an objectively good-looking man. Like, there's nothing like that helps. If you look like a polished, trim man, you're gonna be considered like masculine. But he just impressed the shit out of me, and I think that challenging these dudes and like, I thought Kamala looked masculine when she went at Trump on the debate stage. We want fighters. We want people who have energy. And bravery and belief in what you have to say is totally the energy we need to chase.
Yeah, I think I say this a lot about Trump, that I would never say Trump is an honest person, but Trump is an authentic person, and that who you see, like what you see is what you get with Trump. Like when I see, I don't know, Hakeem Jeffries or Chuck Schumer speaking in front of a podium, I don't think they sound like that to their family and friends. They have a politician voice, a politician stance. I think Trump is that way 24/7. I don't think that there's another version of Donald Trump out there. And so I was with John. Like, I wouldn't think masculinity at first, but I would think authenticity, which goes in hand with it. We talk about the crisis of masculinity that a lot of men have, in that, which is understandable, because media and culture teaches you that this is what a man is and this is what a man is supposed to be, and it's bullshit. It's a complete lie. And so when guys say that they become adults and they feel betrayed because they were given an image of masculinity that not only doesn't work, but it's not viable, and it never did. It's just like, it was just a lie that they went through. So they have a hard time being authentic. But when they see someone who is, this is like you talked about how it's hard to speak up to your friends and everything. It's absolutely true. Once you're with people who respect you, though, you don't have that problem. Like, people who know you and they've known you a long time and they respect you, yeah, you don't go fuck. Like, yeah, this is what I think, and they're like, okay, all right, well, I don't know how many times you guys have had this happen, where you start saying some hard lefty stuff, and people will say, well, I don't agree with you at all, but I think that you definitely know what you're talking about, and they don't shit talk you to your face. Like, they don't. They're like, okay, they actually respect that. And if anything, if we can learn anything from Trump, there's a whole lot that we actually could learn from Donald Trump at this time, is that what people love more than anything else is a fighter. You talk to people who like Donald Trump and they support him, they couldn't tell you 2 policies that Trump supports. They couldn't tell you any legislation he wants to pass. They couldn't name anything about the big, beautiful bill. They don't know a goddamn fucking thing about what Donald Trump's going to do, but they love that he stands up there and he fights and he says, like, this miasma, this kind of like a blurred cultural thing that they somehow relate to. And they see that I'm standing up for you, the deep state, they're coming after you. I'm here, and they're not going to get to you because they got to get through me first. People fucking love that. So yeah, if you're a Democratic politician out there, you've got a decent jaw. You can stand tall, you can look good, and you go out there and say, yes, I'm going to fight for you and do whatever I can to support you. People who don't even know anything about you will be drawn to you, just like in real life. It's the exact same thing, folks. There's no difference.
They're drawn to a 79-year-old man with a weave and a spray tan and a bag of milk physique who is visually not masculine. He just presents as such, and he pulls on those strings. And you guys both use the term authenticity. If you had to choose whose version of authenticity is more authentic between Trump and Zohran, or Trump and Gavin, or Trump and Pete, or Trump and Pritzker, you name it, I think contrast is huge. And whoever their nominee is going to be in 2028, I'm assuming it will be a male. And it's statistically likely to be J.D. Vance, who, again, I think has a very inauthentic, phony form of masculinity. It's bully masculinity. It's mean masculinity. And I think that if adequate contrast were displayed, people would be drawn to that. And they'd be like, oh my gosh, like I have a permission structure because this candidate isn't a woman. Unfortunately, so many men are just gross and won't vote for a woman because they think it says something about them. But I think if we run more candidates who are strong, and I do think in the general election we would be intelligent to run a male candidate, I think those voters are so gettable. I totally do.
All right. Well, Danny, I don't want to hold you any longer. You did get a question from the audience,
Okay.
but unfortunately, Danny has a very, very small child to take care of. And I know you mentioned two Mexican immigrant children. Is your wife Latina?
My wife is Latina. Her dad came over here from Mexico and got her mom over here from Mexico. They're both here legally now. But yeah, it's dual language household. My kids for sure going to speak Spanish first.
Well, my fiance is also Latina. She's from Honduras, and I know that if I was held up late and had to take care of someone, she would kill me. So I don't want that to happen to you. So we will save that question for another time, Danny, because I very much want to have you on. But we'll do our little outro here, Kyle. We will remember that, Kyle, and we'll ask Danny about it next time he's on. Anyway. Thank you guys for watching to the end of this video. You either just watched me and TJ or you got all three of us. If it was just me and TJ, make sure to subscribe so you can see the video with Danny here as well, because he was an excellent guest. And after you watch that video, you're probably going to want to know where to find him. So Danny, how about you tell people where they can find you online?
Yeah, you can just put my name into Instagram and Threads. That's where I do most of my written work. I also do a ton of stuff on YouTube. I have a podcast. Most of it is health and fitness centric. I try to take the most evidence-based approach I can to just making like being in shape, having a reasonable amount of muscle, not more body fat than you want, and still like actually fucking enjoying food. I try to make that as accessible as I can. And right now I'm very much focusing on pushing back against Maha and trying to undermine the validity of that to these men we're talking about, to hopefully create a permission structure for them to come back and join us in actually making a healthy America, which I do think is super possible. We're the richest country on earth, and there's no excuse for us not to have the healthiest, happiest people. No fucking excuse at all.
I agree. Thank you very much, Danny. Can't wait to have you on the show again. You're amazing. It was a fantastic time having you as a guest. I was putting together a list of things that were needed to make sure men reach their maximum potential, and maybe you could help me out next time. So far, I have swift as the coursing river, with the force of a great typhoon, and all the strength of a raging fire. I can't think of anything else, so maybe next time you can help me fill this out, but we'll see what we can do. Thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks, gentlemen. I really appreciate it. Would be happy to come on anytime. Have a wonderful evening.
Later.